Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for staying by and welcome to Labs webinar series on L1, L2 tickets automation for managed service providers. I'm Sneha Sinha from Labs. Let me give you a brief description about Labs. We are founded in 2003 and we specialize in BMC product implementation and support. We have helped many BMC partners and customers across 6 continents in their BMC projects. Today, Prashant Deshpande, EVP Global Project Deliveries at Labs, will take us through L1, L2 tickets automation for managed service providers webinar. He brings in over 35 years of diverse experience of both sides of the table in the IT infrastructure management space, as regional CIO and as Director for Services in his previous stints at BMC Software, Citigroup, Symantec, and IBM. He currently heads the IT infrastructure transformation, virtualization, and cloud business at Labs. List of experts who will answer the questions include Prashant Deshpande, Beena Dhage, Anil Shirole. Post your queries on info@vyomlabs.com and our experts will get back to you. At this time, I would like to turn the webinar over to Prashant. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Sneha. We are really pleased to present this webinar on Automation Edge, a platform for service desk and operational task automation. I want to quickly go through the agenda, what we have for you today. We will first go through the challenges typical managed service providers have, benefits and ROI of automation, about Automation Edge, what is this platform about. We'll talk about some of the case studies we have done for automating some of our customer scenarios. Then we'll dive into typical Automation Edge demo for you. And then finally, we'll talk about how Automation Edge could be useful to you. If you look at the challenges of service providers, there are various challenges. First is competitive pricing, which means that you have to provide more services with lesser cost. The second challenge could be provide 24/7 service to customers, so round-the-clock coverage with limited pool of resources. The third challenge could be multiple skills which are Unix, Windows, database, virtual platforms are needed for support. Fourth could be much of the time of operational staff goes into L1, L2 ticket resolution. That means you really need to optimize and manage the bandwidth of all your resources. Besides this, you have certain operational support challenges. Currently, there are multiple service desk tools could be used to create tickets routing to operational staff based on different customers. Standard operating procedures are not properly documented or thought through. Incidents and service requests are resolved mostly manually. Ticket backlog creates delays in resolution and obviously unhappy customers. Automation scripts are there, but they are scattered all over the place, so it's very difficult to achieve what you need to do from automation. Tribal knowledge is with few individuals who create operational risk after leaving. Now let's get into benefits of automation. Task automation, if you think, there are many tasks in IT which are repetitive in nature, such as password resets, user provisioning on AD, health checks on critical applications, server restarts, VM and application provisioning, etc. Now these repetitive tasks could be automated using this platform we have called Automation Edge. These tasks could be automated, which helps in following: effective handling of routine repetitive tasks, handling through automation, eliminating of manual errors, quicker response time, and obviously saving L1, L2 bandwidth. If you look at some of the Gartner quotes, Gartner is saying that 60% of the cost savings is done by automation. So return of investment is really high. Now let's calculate how a typical ROI is done from automation. So let's say that if you have example of health check of 5 servers, each server taking 12 minutes, you're talking about $60 per hour cost. you're talking about 14,400 yearly saving. This is the sample calculations we have done based on our experience with some of our customers. Similar examples could be calculated based on the situation and context of all other customers. Now, what is this Automation Edge about? Automation Edge is really an operational automation tool built for service providers with goals such as smaller investment, easy to deploy, and maintain and scale up easily. Some of the adapters and connectors which we support are service desk tools, Unix, Linux, SSH, PowerShell, Amazon EC2, VMware, OpenStack, and so on and so forth. The Automation Edge can also handle automation of tasks such as VM application provisioning, user file system management, monitoring event management, and so on and so forth. This is an OPEX model as opposed to CAPEX, where automation developed and maintained during the subscription period. It has a lower TCO, ongoing option for ongoing automation for 10 tasks at a time, which can provide you maximum benefits. This could be a stepping stone for your automation journey. So you can start with simple use cases and achieve the value quickly, and then go for complex use cases such as VM lifecycle management and so on and so forth. Now, how do you identify automation candidates? What we do, or what we really recommend, is study your service desk tickets. Service desk tickets, which are incident and service desk tickets, will tell you what are the repetitive tasks. You can do ticket analysis and find out frequency of such tickets, and then figure out automation, which is semi and full automation with feasibility studies, and then finalize a task for automation. Now we're going to talk about some of the case studies we did for our customers. One of our customers is a typical manufacturer of packaging solutions, where we are managing their Oracle databases. So the backups of Oracle databases on a daily basis, error handling, also monitoring the Oracle processes, it was a challenge. With Automation Edge and remote infrastructure management services, we help the customer to save the cost. Some of the benefits customers got was proper auto alerting of failure and success of backup jobs, reduction in downtime and recovery time due to instant notification, and finally reduction of administrative staff, especially in the second and night shift L1 database administrators. The second case study was of telecom tower company, and the tower company is in the process of collecting daily logs coming up from different tower vendors. These huge logs were very cumbersome to collect, so with Automation Edge we collected them using the techniques of automation that really helped in reduction of manual efforts of voluminous log collectors for multiple systems. Reduction of daily operational time was reduced by 4 hours. The reduction of errors in file handling and editing was also helpful, and then obviously reduction of staff for coordination and remediation of faults. So I won't go through all the case studies, but you will get some idea in terms of how we have achieved automation for some of our customers. Now, if you look at the standard manual process of ticket resolution, most of the organizations have service desks such as BMC, Track IT, BMC Remedy Force, BMC Service Core, BMC Remedy, ITSM, HPSM, OTRS, and so on and so forth. Different service request channels are phone calls, emails, self-service portals. Assignments are service requests, and incidents are assigned to different queues for manual resolution and fulfillment. So if you look at the process flow, the service requests and incidents are going to manual tasks assigned to staff, and then the staff manually takes care of the servers, standard applications, VMware or VM infrastructures, Active Directory and package applications, whatever the automation is needed, which is done by manually. Now, if you introduce Automation Edge, you will see that the manual staff is substituted by Automation Edge. So same requests which are coming from service requests or incidents, they're going to automation queue, and automation edge automatically takes care of all this automation which is needed on the destination or destination tasks, destination systems such as servers, VMware, Active Directory, and package applications. At this point, I'm going to hand over to Beena, who will go over how the automation edge works with Remedy Force as an incident management system. So over to you, Beena.
Well, thank you, Prashant. This is Beena here. Hello, everyone. So today, as managed service providers, we would like to expand our IT services and expedite the user request fulfillment with automation and optimization. Let us see the demo of VIOM Automation Edge, which can be used for this purpose. For this demo, we are using one of the popular service desk tools on cloud today called BMC Remedy Force. Automation Edge can be used with any service desk tool. You can use it with an on-premise tool like maybe BMC Remedy ITSM or HPSM, or it could be even OTRS, or any cloud-based service desk tool also. For the demo purpose, I have logged into BMC Remedy Force, and what we have here in front of us is the self-service portal of Remedy Force. Let us consider a scenario to understand our demo. We have a managed service provider, say maybe by the name of ServiceCo. ServiceCo has designed a service catalog for their customers to raise their IT service requests. Using this service catalog available to them, customers can log their various IT requests, which typically get assigned to ServiceCo's service support teams, who then manually respond and fulfill these requests. So now, to understand the working of Automation Edge, we will use this service catalog, which has the various different service requests organized in the service categories. For the demo purpose, we are considering some of the frequently requested services, like, let us consider a request, say under virtual infra services. I'm requesting as a customer, let me say, the first request which I am submitting here is to create an EC2 machine. What we will be doing here is creating an EC2 machine on Amazon AWS. As managed service providers, you might receive requests to create virtual machines maybe on Microsoft Azure or AWS, or it could be VMware or maybe OpenStack. For this demo purpose, we are considering an example using Amazon AWS. So let's provide the data inputs here. So I'm selecting Ubuntu server here as the operating system, selecting the type as say T1 micro, and let's say we want one instance, and here I submit this request. Similarly, let's submit some more service requests. So when as a customer, I come back to this service catalog. Under this service catalog, let me go to another category. So let's say an example of directory and messaging. Under directory and messaging, let me create another service request. This time, let me take the request of creating AD user. A request, I'm sure, as managed service providers, we get these very frequently. And here, let me enter an account name. So for our demo purpose, I'm entering user Jeff, providing these inputs and submitting this request too. Let's take another request. So here, this request has been submitted. Let me go ahead and submit one more. So now as a next example, I'm going under the category server. Under category server, let's select another request where let's create now a Unix user. So let's create a Unix user, provide the credentials for the Unix user. And here I give the name as say Scott S. So there we have submitted 3 different types of service requests. Now let us navigate to the next console, which is typically used by the support teams. So I'm going to the Remedy Force console, which is used by the support teams who would be having a look at these various different service requests here. There, you'll find that 3 of our service requests which we created are visible here. So we created one service request to create an EC2 machine. We created a service request to create an Active Directory user. And the last one which we submitted was to create a Unix user. And you'll also find the status of these service requests. So if you look at the status, you'll find that the Unix user, it already shows you that it's closed. Let me open this particular service request and let's have a look at the details of this request. So when I open this particular service request details, I find that the details appear here, and if you look at the resolution field, it shows you in the resolution field that this particular service request has already been closed by Vyom Automation, and you have the user account details provided with the username Scott as well as the password which has been provided. Let's verify this user, whether this user has been created. So to verify this user, let me take you to the Unix and let me check whether this particular user has been created now. And we created the user by the name of Scott. And let's submit this particular command. And there it shows us that we do have a user by the name of Scott S created. Let's move on to the next service request which we had submitted. So I'm going back to the list of the service requests, and we find even the request to create an AD user has been closed. Let's open this particular request too. And we see in this particular service request details, here again, in the resolution field, we have the details of this user which has been created. So we have a user, Jeff J created, as well as the password. Let me scroll down a little further and show you that you'll find that whenever this particular service request has been created, it gets assigned to the support queue, Vyom Automation queue. Now to verify whether this particular user was created in the Active Directory, let me take you to the Active Directory. Let me just see the Active Directory users and computers. I'll just refresh this. And you'll find that here is the user Jeff J created. So there we had 2 of our service requests which were submitted by the customer getting resolved in a matter of seconds and not days, which it would take. Maybe it has to be done manually. Let me now go ahead to the 3rd service request which we have submitted, which was to create an EC2 machine on AWS. So here, now we find as soon as I refresh this list of service requests, that even our service request to create an EC2 machine has been closed. Let me open this particular service request and let us check the details which appear here. So now, when we see the details, here I find that the resolution field has the details of the user and the password provided. Let's check whether this user and this particular EC2 machine has been created. So for that, to verify whether this EC2 machine has been created, I'll log in into AWS Amazon and let me just refresh this. So I'm under EC2 and it shows me over here now that I have one running instance. So let me open and check this one running instance. It's taking a little while. And here we have a running instance created with public IP of 54.197.172.76. And let me just go back to the Remedy Force console, and there we find it's with the same IP address which we find in the resolution field. So here what we saw right now was how the service requests which were submitted by the customer were fulfilled in fraction of minute rather than, as I mentioned earlier, a day. And that's the benefit of using Automation Edge. I give the control back to Prashant, and he will continue with the further presentation.
Thank you. Thank you, Beena. You have seen that all these requests are fulfilled automatically without intervention of system administrators. These are typical examples of automation. We can practically handle any of your requests which are repetitive in nature. Lastly, I want to talk about how Automation Edge could be useful to you. These are some of the areas which we feel that Automation Edge will be useful. First of all, acquire more customers with the same support staff. You should be able to handle more work with the same support staff. Extend the coverage to 24/7. You can support multiple platforms, multiple OS, databases, virtual platforms such as VMware, OpenStack, Hyper-V, and multiple service desks such as Remedy, Remedy Force, HPSM, OTRS, HPSM, and so on and so forth. Rapid service provisioning and closing of tickets resulting in happy customers. Providing new services as part of your service portfolio. You can also incorporate Automation Edge as an integral part of your service offering to your customers. This has a potential of non-linear revenue growth. Finally, we can help you to package this solution and provide required operational support for you to be successful in your MSP business. So this is how we will end our webinar today. We will conclude with the note that we will happily answer all your questions as you need. Please send those questions to info@vyomlabs.com, and then we will answer those individually based on as we receive those. Again, the email address is info@vyomlabs.com. Please send all your questions to that email address.